Hello and welcome to the weekly Dinosaw for week 31, another 7 curious interesting things I saw last week. So let's crack on. First one is Facebook, haven't mentioned them for a while, and Facebook Gaming. So Facebook Gaming has been around for a while, a year or two, and it's been around primarily as an app on Android and also as a website, all within obviously Facebook, but it's not really been available for iOS. So the deal now is it is available, but brilliantly Facebook have got around it by really some sort of, cutting off their nose to spite their face. Really, this is how it has to work, but they can't do it otherwise because Apple rules say that you can't host an app that allows another sort of marketplace within it, for instance, which is what Facebook Gaming is. So how have they got around it? You can download the app, absolutely. Within the app, it will load essentially a website, and within the website, it will stream the video of the game you're playing. So like Google Stadia, for instance, what you do is you play the game. You don't actually play the game in the app. You play the game on the cloud, and the reaction to the game is streamed back as video to your mobile phone. So I just love, as I said, this is a great study in how to get by the Apple rules, which are quite strict in the App Store. So there's a bit of a standoff between Facebook and Apple. They're frenemies at best, I think, especially with data versus privacy. So this is kind of one up for Facebook, possibly. It's not without its problems. You can't actually play instant games, for instance, so sort of multiplayer games with your friends as you do on Facebook. But there you go. If that's for you, that's for you. Vodafone. I saw this. Now this is perfect PR fluff. It's basically he's written to win awards, but well done to the team who did this. It's the sort of thing I would have come up with a couple of years ago in advertising. So I think this is great. So obviously you've got the Lions tour in South Africa at the moment, 8,000 miles away. So how can the fans get involved? And you've got some super fans. You can see them here. This couple you just saw actually missed their honeymoon in South Africa. It was going to be at the Lions tour. They're both super fans. So what they did is they've used the low latency 5G network, of course, and you have a call with one of the players, so Chris Harris, etc., and they will sign a jersey for you there and then, which is brilliant. So the robot then actually rewrites the signature live for you, which I thought was just really, really neat. It's super simple to do, kinda. If it was me trying to do this, I'd go, yeah, we could do this. It's just done brilliantly. Anyway. It's a nice thing you can do, and I thought that was a really sweet way of connecting fans during this kind of you can't travel to go to see sporting events. Snapchat spectacles. Now spectacles, I've got a couple of sets of the original spectacles. If you would like to buy some, they're still available. However, I think we're now up to Snapchat spectacles. This is 4. So the new 4 spectacles aren't out yet, but they will have augmented reality, as you see here. So this is a lens, a Snapchat lens, as done in the actual glasses themselves. So what's cool about this is it's somebody on a scooter. They've scooted on their scooter and they left a trail using this demo. It's only a demo. It's one of the engineers has done it. They've scooted along. And left some dots on the road or some coins on the road, and then they can go back to the beginning of it and play it as a game and try and retrace the steps. So it's using what's called visual inertial odometry, which is kind of how to use sensors to know where you are, basically. That's really what that means, or VIO. Anyway, so this is really cool. Just a bit of a view on Snapchat, or at least the next generation of AR glasses that haven't quite hit us yet, but will be coming soon. We'll be able to do this sort of thing. So there might be some scooter crashes in a street near you. There you go. NFTs, Olympic NFTs. Now I started this out with lots of articles this week looking at the Team GB are going to be the first country to have launched some NFT tokens or NFT items, and I researched it, and you can't get them because it's just not there. I couldn't find them at all. So please correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought, oh, okay. So I searched a little bit wider and found the official Olympic ones. Here they are, the Tokyo 2020, and you can buy the pin badges. So and going back to all the Olympics as well, not just the Tokyo 2020 ones. So you can buy pin badges, and you can also buy individual NFTs for events as well. Only you can't. So they're not available yet. They're coming out next week, which is halfway through the games already. It's just a massive shambles. So it just smacks of everybody saying saying the word NFTs and everybody being caught a little short, not really knowing what they're doing with it, and it's not really happened. So anyway, quite frankly, it was a bit of a mess. I tried to have a look at them, tried to even see how to purchase them, and you just can't really, they're not out yet. So if you want to purchase some Olympic pins, as you can see on screen now, they're between $9 and $230. You get between 5 and 7 pins. There are rares and epics and all that sort of stuff in there. If that's what you want to go and do, then I think they launch next week. I think it's the 3rd of August, so I think that's Tuesday. Go and have a look. But basically the point of this one is it's just a bit chaotic. Nobody really knows what they're doing. They're a bit too new for people to know what to do with. But well done to Nway Play and Tokens, I think it is, the UK version, for at least getting there, but want to see more. CASSIE, the robot. So this is actually Oregon State University. I've seen this before. It's been climbing stairs and stuff in the dark. What was initially quite interesting about this is it was teaching itself to walk, so using reinforcement learning, and what it's now doing is it's running 5Ks. So this is not it setting its record, but basically it ran a 5K in actually 44 minutes. It ran another one in 53 minutes because I think it fell over once and overheated again. So its later sort of running around on the road, as you see it now, was actually 53 minutes, but it ran around the sports pitch in 44. Which is amazing because it also did it on one charge. So it did it in 44 minutes. So an average sort of park run time, I guess, for a 5K would be about half an hour, maybe sort of 47 minutes. So this is getting on for you know, a 10K sort of time, but he only ran 5K. So if you can't run a 5K in 43 minutes, you might want to get practicing because this robot can catch up with you, and we know where that's going in the future. However, well done to Oregon State University. This is a great feat, and to do it all in one battery charge as well, I think is immense. Well done. We've heard a lot about space news and how people are getting to space and whether Jeff Bezos really got to space after all. So we know Richard Branson, did he really get to space? Because he didn't, he only went to 50 miles. And then when Bezos went, he went to 100 kilometers, so he got to real space. And they're going, well, really, is he an astronaut? Because he really didn't do any work there. So is he just a spacer? Or they're trying to, there was quite interesting chats this week about what do you actually call a tourist who goes to space? And do you really call them an astronaut? Have they earned the right to be an astronaut? However, in other space news, so this is actually researchers in Japan who are re-looking at using microwaves to power rockets. So 90% of a rocket's weight is the fuel to get it actually into orbit. So if you could actually get rid of that weight, or at least reduce it, then you can get more payload into space, etc. So that's all good. So how do you do this? You basically get super high energy microwave beams, 28 gigahertz for instance, and you point it at the rocket, and there's a receiver on the rocket, turns it into heat, which then turns into propulsion. They've tried this before about 10 years ago or so, but it was with sort of 2 gigahertz and it was very, very sort of low power. So this is the first time I've tried it with super high power, but they really used the experiment to model the efficiencies in all of this system. Turns out the entire model is only 0.43% efficient, so they're not going to actually launch anything off Earth at this point. So, but it proved the point, and that they can at least start to use those numbers. They actually did it by pointing microwaves at a drone which flew for 30 seconds or so at about a meter. So it wasn't particularly spectacular, but I just thought it was really interesting. Is this the future of space travel, where you essentially just track a rocket as it goes up into space with microwave beams? Interesting. There you go. And finally, I love this. This is called Stray. Been watching this for a couple of months, and they've just released a new trailer. So there was a sort of a cinematic trailer, but now there's a gameplay trailer. So as you can see here, you play the role of a cat. Latterly in the game, you actually have a bit of a sidekick, a bit of a robot sidekick. Don't want to give it away. But you can see you have to solve puzzles as a cat. Now, I thought this was interesting just because it's a cat. Don't particularly like cats. I'm more of a dog person, but I thought it was a great game. You couldn't really get a dog game like this. It just wouldn't make sense. However, I thought what was also interesting is if you look at the major games right now, they're always so what they call AAA, and they're usually sequels, so they're franchise. People don't want to risk a new game franchise when they know that the old one will get audience and money, so that's why you get Call of Duty 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., etc., or Grand Theft Auto 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's just how that works. So it's really good to see a really nice new fresh look on a game. I hope it does well when it comes out. I think next year on PC and PlayStation. I think it's out on Steam as well. So look out for that. It just looks neat. There you go. And with that, we are done. Thank you very much. Hopefully it was useful, and I'll speak to you soon.